Hello, I'm Janani Srinivasan. I'm directing a staged reading of Tiger Style for the Gallery Players in Brooklyn on Monday, May 11th and Tuesday, May 12th. And I'm here with two of the actors from the show, Barron Leung, who plays Albert Chen, and Ewan Rasmussen, who plays Russ the Bus, Reggie, and Customs Agent. Barron, what have you been up to before the show? What's your kind of background with acting? And
I've been doing acting since high school. I joined, fun fact, on a dare. Someone dared me to audition for the play, and then I did it. And then I found myself in New York. I trained at Esper Studio in Midtown, Manhattan. And I've just been auditioning and working on my own and writing and killing time.
And Ewan, what have you been up to before the show?
I just recently graduated from the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, third year conservatory, so I'm fresh off the tails of graduating. Apart from that, I'm just in the city trying to find work. I've also been acting since I was in high school, and yeah.
Right. You want to tell us a little bit about your origin story for this show, which is kind of a fun one?
Yes, so John and I went and saw a 10:30 a.m. production of August Osage County, which I was in. I played Bill Fordham, and she liked how horrible I was on stage, so she decided it would be a great idea to offer me a audition for 3 other horrible characters, which I'm very grateful for because this has been an incredible process.
So I wanted to hear just from each of you a little bit about the story of the show. How have you been describing the show to people you know when you tell them to come see it?
My elevator pitch for it is third generation Chinese American siblings who have excelled at everything in life find out that they suck as adults. And then because of that, they go on what's called an Asian Freedom Tour to find out where they really belong.
Well, I've been describing this show as somewhat of the lens of the 3 characters I'm playing. I'm playing 3 characters of varying different racist ideologies, and they're all 3 kind of horrible people that interact and are kind of the catalyst for the 2 main characters of the show. But as a show as a whole, it's a brother and a sister struggling with their identities in America and what it means to be third generation and be away from their lineage and what it kind of means to be in the American just dream, quote unquote.
Barron, tell me a little bit about your relationship to Chinese heritage and your Asian identity, because your Asian identity spans not only China, but other areas of Asia, correct?
Yeah, so I'm part Chinese on my dad's side and part Vietnamese on my mom's side. I have a closer tie to Vietnam simply because my dad, for whatever reason, neglected to teach me Chinese. He was like, you didn't want to learn. And I was like, but I was 4. And he was like, whatever. But I feel like my ties to Vietnam and China, it's funny because I recently went home to California for Lunar New Year. And it was the really first time that my grandfather was there. And so he's been in China for the last 3 years, and it was the first time that I really reconnected with my roots. And it's a fascinating thing because I feel like as Asian Americans or just anyone who's immigrated here, it's that there's a sort of separation between my family, my immediate family, and the thousands of people who came before us. And reconnecting with that was really, really important to me. It was like a solid grounding that I haven't felt in a long time.
Can you each tell me just a little bit about the characters that you play?
So, Albert is a software programmer a very lazy third-generation Chinese American who knows nothing about his heritage, and really just has his sister orbit his entire life.
All of them are like very specific instances of like the modern day white guy. And Russ the Bus is a 20-year-old, mid-20s, just complete stoner, found his way into online university, and then found his way somehow into a very high-paying tech job. He doesn't know how to do any of his work, so he basically just makes his coworkers and Albert do all the work for him. Other than that, he's a gamer, he smokes weed, it's kind of him. Second character, Reggie, is a shitty boyfriend that installs sound systems, who is having a horrible time with his relationship because it gets into it in the play, but he's a pretty shitty boyfriend. TSA guy is this kind of like abstract figure of America and American immigration systems, and he's a complete douchebag and gives them a lot of shit, and he's a pretty racist guy.
Barron, what's it like for you to work on a staged reading versus a full-length production? I know you're also a director, so what are some of the differences?
A staged reading, there's a lot more, I think, what's the word? The words are more important in a staged reading. And as an actor, I can find certain pieces to move the story along, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm saying the words, I think that's what's most important, because it's for the audience to experience the reading. It's a little bit more, it's not difficult, it's just a different medium than if I'm putting on a full play, then I have to think A to Z completely about like moment to moment things. And then even as a director, it's the same. Like my directions towards other actors is similar to the way that I act, and so it's just like, but I don't have to do that for a stage reading. Basically, it's simpler.
And yet, it's funny how we still do have some difficulties that are built into a staged reading versus a memorized production. Right? You have to turn pages, you have to manipulate binders. You have to remember all kinds of blocking and other things while holding these binders. So although memorization can be a pain, reading off of a page can also be a pain.
It's so honestly, I think it's a little hard. It's a little bit more difficult because yes, the binder is a 1-inch binder or even a 1/2 inch, and it's like you're down one appendage, and then you also have to carry things that don't exist, and like so it limits you significantly on what you can actually do in a scene. Mm-hmm. But it's just what it is.
Ewan, what's different for you about a staged reading versus a memorized production?
I'm gonna have to agree with Barron. I think that the holding the script it's a different kind of challenge, and especially because it's blocked as well, you have to work around this prop that you have throughout the entire stage. But there's something about it that feels risky because you're not off book and the audience is seeing you with your binder, but you have to make enough choices that you kind of forget that the binder's there. Like using it, there's a scene where I actually like slide the binder across the stage, and it's like if you can kind of map it to what you're doing and use it as a prop, it becomes a lot less kind of arduous to like carry it around all the time. And since we're all holding scripts, we all are in this shared experience of like, okay, what do we do with our hands? Because we're so expressive with our hands. So it's a really interesting and important experience to have, because I've never done a staged reading in my life, and I'm wondering how the audience is going to experience that, because like you said, it's about the words, but since it is blocked and light and there's lighting and we're using a set, Like, how does this come off? Like, how is the story being told when the audience knows that we're standing there with our scripts in hand?
Well, I think it's a testament to all of you that even I, as the director watching, don't really remember after a while that you have the scripts in hand. I know you guys certainly remember that you do, but your acting is transcending the burdens that you're holding in your hand, for sure. I wanted to ask about some of your favorite moments between Albert and Russ. You only interact in the show as Albert and Russ, or Albert and TSA. I don't know if TSA is the right word for customs. Do they all fall under the one umbrella?
I think it's written as customs.
Okay, gotcha. What are some of your favorite moments together on stage?
I mean, the entrance is pretty fun.
I
love the entrance. There's like a little bit of a twinge of camaraderie in their relationship, like just like the smallest dash of that in the pot. That's kind of fun to bring out. What about you?
I love the first scene that we have together. Just how much you're pushing you're advancing, and I just have to like push you away. I love that game of just like, get away from me, but then you're always like bringing me closer, and at some point like you put your arm around me too, and I'm like, damn. I love that.
Yeah, I also like when you flip and you start coming for me, because Russ the Bus has never probably experienced that in his life. So when you actually turn around and you start telling me what to do, I freak out. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I love seeing the look on your face every single time I advance.
I think something really nice that comes up between you is that racism, the big R, doesn't always manifest as these easy, flat moments. It's not always the Klan, and it's not always, things as obvious as even what we have occurring in our country today. It can just be somebody who doesn't see you as a full person. Russ, continually calls Albert Elbro, or little bro, and he thinks he's being affectionate, and he thinks he's being loving and giving you a head pat, but that actually diminishes you in another way, which I think is much more common to real life. We've put this show together really, really fast. Basically, we had a table read, and then we put it all together this week. What have been some of your moments that brightened the week for you? I know we've had a lot of food come in from Angela. And what have been some of your favorite moments from the week?
Angela's food, for sure. I feel like that's like
she's
fuel.
great.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
It's incredible.
What's she been bringing us?
She just brought us coconut mochi, which is incredible.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
What else did she bring us? Like
challah bread.
Yeah.
Yes, so good.
Mm-hmm. And then the cupcakes.
Yeah, cupcakes.
Yeah. I love being fed. If you just feed me, I'm a happy plant.
Yeah. Something that's been really exciting for me, from going from like 3 years of this really close-knit program, is that I haven't really acted with a lot of people that have been older than me, or people that like I just don't really know, because I've just been with this group of 16 people for 3 years. So it's so refreshing to see people that have completely different training and completely different levels of what they want to do, and their experiences and age differences, and it feels like, oh, okay, like this is fun, this is professional. Like I'm in a space that is new, but I'm using what I've learned for the last 3 years of school, and it's working out.
Yeah, the two parents in the show are played by actual parents, which is actually super cool. It was not something I set out for. I was open to younger casting, but Johnny and Angela both have 2 daughters, and
which is just crazy to me.
You're their first son.
Yeah.
What are some moments that you look forward to in the show, either acting in, or I guess you're not going to be able to see the full show, but just moments of the show that you really dig?
I really, I really I like all the split scenes. Honestly, I think I'm in one of them, but just sitting back and hearing like the two main characters deal with these like larger than life people when they go over to China is just like it's so entertaining, because I think the costuming and the acting really adds to this, like it's like almost this like parody. It's really fun to hear it backstage. Like I just like chuckle all the time when I'm hearing things, and especially when they go to their parents' place. I think that moment is it's such a layered scene, because you're expecting this like outburst, but they're kind of how they deal with their kids is a little more nuanced than how they've been explaining the tyrants of their parents. And I think that scene is really interesting because it sets up this journey for them to go on.
Mm-hmm. Question for you, Barron. How are the Chen parents similar or dissimilar from your parents?
My parents haven't reached that age where they're like, we're, like in the Chens are much more laid back in some of the scenes than my parents would be. They would like, I remember growing up, my dad specifically would be like, he's so cutthroat. But my mom is very chill, which I love. They're similar in that like they always wanted me to do really great in school. They pushed me to go to college, and then I dropped out. And then my mom was like, you know what? Why did we push you if you were just gonna drop out and be an actor? And so now with my little brother, they're not even like, they're just like, all right, do whatever you want, right? It took me to break that tiger parenting style. But yeah.
I wanted to ask, what's it like working with Alyssa for both of you? You both, Barron, you have essentially the entire show with her.
Yeah.
You have one memorable scene with her where you attempt to break up with her. What's that experience like?
I love working with her. She's so fun. You can just like, you can throw down any kind of energy and she'll pick it up and throw it back in your face, which is so fun to do when you're having an argument scene. I think it while I'm doing the scene for myself, it's really believable that these people have been in a relationship because they're so volatile with each other. And it does seem like this is the breaking point, not only for her in her relationship, but her in her life at this moment. And Reggie is just the worst kind of guy in the world for any sort of emotional moment. He probably was like good if you wanted to go home and see your boyfriend sitting on the couch. That's probably what his use was. So I think finding that relationship with each other just from repetition has been really fun, and I think she's hilarious.
One thing that I really love about the play is just how chaotic Jennifer and Albert get. I love playing that, but I also really love playing there's just something that I've been finding in rehearsals with Johnny is that like playing that, I can't step all over your toes. It's like almost like what's it called, like a retreat, like that. I love doing that, and also I love the ending of the play. Mm-hmm. I love it when they finally get to the root of what's going on, for Albert at least. And then it ends with not finding the solution he wanted, but finding the solution that was available in the room, which is really nice.
That's a wrap on our interview with Barron and Ewan. Please come see the staged reading of Tiger Style on Monday and Tuesday, May 11th and 12th at the Gallery Players in Brooklyn.